day, everybody. I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we will be doing our grade 2 English lesson on homophones. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts. Grade 2. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of homophones. All right, so our chapter is homophones. Our subject is English Language Arts, grade 2. And the lessons that we are focusing on under the chapter of homophones is homophones with pictures and to identify homophones. All right, so when it comes to multiple meaning, to homophones, right? Sorry. Homophones are words that sound the same, right? So it's words that sound the same, but they have different spellings as well as different meanings. So homophones are words that sound the same, but they have different spellings. And they have different meanings. And if we look at certain words, right? Words with the same with the same sound that sounds the same, but that have different spellings as well as meanings. So if we look at a few words, right, of homophones, it is words like by. So this word buy, it says my friend and I buy lunch at school, right? And this word buy, it's like to purchase something. It's like you need to give money and then they give you whatever that you bought. So my friends and I, we buy lunch at school. And this was would buy, like we say, it means to pay for something, right? Pay for something meaning you give your money and then the shop owner will maybe give you whatever, right? Then we have another word that means then we all eat together by the big tree. So this one means like we are by the tree. By means near, right? It basically just shows that we are near, we are not too far. And then we say bye to each other when the bell rings. And this word bye, B-Y-E, is a word that is short for goodbye. All right. And here we have bye, which is B-Y-E, right? And this word bye is like saying, it's like greeting. It's like saying goodbye, right? But it's just short for bye, right? And if we look at these three words, right? Bye, and bye, right? These are words, right? These words we call homophones, right? And if we look at those words, that of homophones, the spellings is different. How do you mean, do we have a chat for homophones? What does that mean? But yeah, so if we look at those three words by, right? Those three words are all spelled differently, right? The meanings are also the same of those words, right? But the sound of these three words are all the same. All right. And these are actually homophones, right? If you think of more words that sounds the same, but the meaning and the spellings are different, please jot it down, right? Yeah, so the first one buy is like where you're paying for something. It's like you're giving the money to the shop owner, and the shop owner is going to give you the goods or the items that you bought. So we have homophones that sounds the same, but they have different spelling and the meanings are different of these words. All right. So we said what buy, and buy means, right? So we just need to keep in mind when it comes to homophones, right? It sounds the same, but the spellings and the meaning of the words are different. And if we look at another word or a few words that are homophones, right? And we said homophones are words with the same sound, but they have different spells and meanings. And we look at the few words with that are homophones, we'll make mention of break. So break, or even break. I think for now I'm just going to write down a few words and then we can go over the meanings again. Then we also have a word high and high. All right, so if we look at these two words in front of us, right? We have break and we have high. So we have break and high, right? These two words, right? Yes, we also have C and C. And the first word break, right? It's BREAK. And then the second word break is BRAKE, right? And the first word break, So we see the first word we have break. And break is like either way you break or shatter glass. I broke my thumb, I broke my leg, break. The glass breaks. That is breaks, right? Then the second word break, right, is when you're driving a car, bicycle, and you need to step on the brake in order to stop the car or to slow it down. Then we have word high and high. High and high. And the first word high, which is just H and I. So the first word high is like where you're greeting someone. And then we have another word high, which is High. Then we have sea, right? C and sea. The first word sea, which is SEA, is like the ocean. All right, so we said sea and sea. Sea is the ocean. And then the other word see is like when you look at something. All right, so that is basically homophones, right? Homophones are words that sounds the same, but they have different spellings and meaning. All right. And if we look at more words that are homophones, right? Ooh, even this one. Think of this one that says I, right? Which is like I, me, myself, and I. And this one, I. So the first word I is like referring to myself, like I am 9 years old, I am 10 years old. And then the second word I is the eyes in your face, right? All right. All right. So we said homophones are words that sound the same, but they have different spellings and meanings. And we made an example of buy, and buy. All right. And when it comes to homophones, right, and the different words, right, sometimes the words wasn't even used in a long time, right? But remember, when it comes to homophones, right, it is basically just random words that sound the same, but the spellings as well as the meanings are different. Random words. All right. And then we also have words like eight, which is like number eight. Eight is like the food that you eat, sorry. And then the second one is like number eight that you are mentioning of. Then we also have right, and we have all right. So we're going to do homophones with pictures, and we're going to identify homophones. So now let's go to aplusstudents.ca, and then we are going to the first lesson, which is homographs with pictures. We're going to match the pictures with whatever the homophone is. All right, so we see the homophones are words that sound the same but have different meanings and spellings. So we can even look at the word like sun. So sun, right? We can use sun as a word, or we can even say sun with an S-O-N. So this first word sun, right, is the sun that rises, that sun. Yes, sun and sun, right and right. So the first sun, which is S-U-N, is the sun that rises in the east and it sets in the west. So basically we have sun, the sun that's in the sky. That's S-U-N. And then if you look at the next word, which is S-O-N, also sun. But in this case, we can say this one is a boy child. So a boy child, right, which is my mom's son, my daddy's son, right? That is basically how we use that word. So sun, as in the sun that's in the sky, and son, which is someone's boy child. And as you can see, right, if we look at these two words, right, these are words, it sounds the same, son. But as you can see, the spellings are different. And we made an example of those words, and we said homophones are words that sound the same, but they have different spellings and meanings. All right. So with homophones, right? We said homophones are words with same sound. So sometimes you can have a word, right, that might look the same or you think it is the same, but then the difference or the whatever that's inside is a bit different. Whereas in this case, it is just words with same sound and they kind of are different, right? All right, so now let's go to our test. If we look at this word in front of us, right, it says which word matches the picture. So if we look at that, we say we have a rose and rose, right? So the first one, rose, which is ROWS, it's like rows or aisles where people sit next to each other. Like when you go to the movies, right? There's different roles. Rose. And then the second one is a rose, right? Which is a flower that is given. Rose. And this is also a homophone. Words are the same sound, but the meanings and spellings are different. So we say the second option is matches with the picture. Yes, well done. Which word makes which word matches the picture? Is it the first option, which is right? And if we look at that word right, and the options, we need to choose one or two of that options, actually, one or both. We have right and right. All right, and if we were to choose the correct one, we would say it's the first one, which is right. It's like you write a letter, you write a poem, you write a story, right? But right is correct, right? So well done. Option one is correct. If we look at the second one, right? All right. And if we look at is a cent or a cent, like a cent is 50 cents, 10 cents. All right. And if we choose the correct one, we will say it is second one. All right. And here we're going to look at the one. We say, with stripes black and white, it is an insect, which is a bee, right? Yes, second option. If we look at the next one, we have plain, right? All right. I remember also when it comes to meaning of words, right? It is two different or three different words, right? But only one of the words will match the picture, right? So, plain. Is it the first plane, which is plain, or the second word plain? Plain. It's like a form of transport, but it's transport in the air. All right, and if we choose the correct one, we'll choose the second one. All right. Which matches the picture, I or the second one, I? All right. So I, it's like me, myself, and I, or we have I, which is that we use to see. And if we choose the correct one, then we choose eye, which is your eye that you use to see. That is I. The other word I is like referring to me, myself, and I. All right, which word matches the picture? We have deer. All right, so deer. Is it the first option, DEER, or the second option for deer? All right, so we say that these are deers. And if we match the word with the picture, then we will say the first one is our deer, the first one is an animal. Well done. Now let's go to the next one. It says which matches the picture. And if we look at our word with our picture, then we can say this is number two. A lot of people get confused between two because you can get three different words of two. It's TO, TOO, or TWO. All right. So we have two, and that is basically our homophones. All right, so that is the end of our lesson. We homophones are words with the same sound. Remember, the sound is the same. So if you say a word and the words sound the same, then that is homophones, right? If maybe we have more than one word. But the meanings of these words as well as the spellings are different, right? So the meanings and spellings are different, and you're gonna have to know either how to spell it, or you're gonna have to know a word or what the word actually means in order to know how to spell it or to identify it. All right, so that is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much. Great tools. You should have a good weekend further. Goodbye.